Hey Alex, how you doing, man?
Good. How about you, Javier?
Very good. Give me one sec.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, how's everything?
Good. How's your day going?
Good. Chilling. Not much
Yeah.
regarding our area.
Is it warm where you are?
Uh, kind of. We can say it's like around 65.
Okay. Well, it is 20 degrees here, so sounds a lot better. Sounds a lot better there than it is here.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Javier, I was going through your LinkedIn profile, and I noticed that you are the senior coordinator for the Latino Club marketing. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I have no idea what the Latino Club is for the MLB. Can you explain that? Can you explain what that is for me?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So we work with. So let's say I'm the middleman between the league and the clubs
Okay.
regarding working with Latino market, especially in their brand. We work our main focus is working in social media. So we work all the clubs accounts in Spanish. Or let's say all 30 clubs has their own Twitter and Facebook.
Hmm.
So we help them, to cover that area.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So we do game days, anything content related with that. Also, we're helping teams on especially promoting themselves during Hispanic Marketing Month or anything that we can see in their fan base that we can attract those Latinos to come to the stadium and follow their teams.
Okay. Um, so are these like different leagues that are in uh different countries in like Southern America or Central America?
Yeah, so mainly our let's say our fan base is more in Mexico,
Okay.
Dominican Republic, Cuba, Venezuela, Puerto Rico. You have a lot of people, maybe Colombia, Panama. There's so more marketing emergence in that part.
Okay. Gotcha. So you told me kind of like what you guys do. What is your exact role within all of that?
So I lead the club account. So I always in conversation with clubs regarding their, let's say, their accounts in Spanish. We work with them by side, like how we can target the marketing um, to our fan base, Latino fan base or Spanish speaker fan base. Um, so that's my main job basically. Say by be day by day working on that operation as
Mhm.
well. I help other stuff in the league or regarding, let's say, our main account in Spanish, escolas mayores, or even countries accounts that we have um, four four or five country accounts called MLB Venezuela, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and those accounts are specific to those players that are from there, and we show them, we highlight them, and we create content regarding them, especially it's a big asset for all of us regarding in Inspire
Okay.
because as you know, there's a almost 30, 34, 35% of their players that we have in MLB are Latino. So it
Mhm.
is a big market.
How big is your department, or how many people do you work with?
I work a lot. I think we have 22 so
Okay.
far. We are in the process of we're doing under a process of like changing a couple stuff that we have, or probably might be expanding, just depending.
Mm. Do you guys have like internships within your program?
Not well, yes. Well, last year we started doing so. We have one intern that was working with us regarding some video content, very good, helping like getting that IG reels, getting those any other videos that we have for different events.
Mhm.
That helps a lot, like getting that content. So basically, we have, and now especially I think this year they were going to start again. I think that's what I heard.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, what is the end goal like, or what is your main goal with the Latino Club? What do you
Yeah,
guys want to accomplish?
we want to accomplish that. I think that the best way is we can see it as a global brand.
Okay.
We want you to have, we want those clubs to feel that their brand is not only United States, they're also, global. I know they look at it, maybe that's how the ticket revenue interacts with them. However, but this fan base that are outside the United States is crucial because your brand is expanding and creating more followers and more fans too. So, for example, you go with the Blue Jays, their fan base is Canada, but when you go, let's say, more international way, majority of the persons that follow those accounts are from Dominican Republic. And why is that? Because they have guys like Vladimir Guerrero, that is a very huge Latin star, creates that narrative of being able to work to follow that account and follow their player. That's what many of the Latino and the Hispanic countries, the Latino countries that we work with, that we see so far, is like those fan base follow their players that are from their country. And when you start seeing that, you see that growing so far in those accounts.
So I know that, you're part of the Latino club marketing. Is there like an Asian club marketing for like countries like Japan and South Korea?
We have, it's called, but we don't work as, like, let's say, Latino club marketing.
Yeah.
And we have, it's a partnership that we have, and we have MLB Japan and MLB Korea as well. And I think MLB Taiwan I think we have it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was Taiwanese players.
There's a couple of them. I think they play with the Cleveland Guardians. So right now,
gotcha.
But I think the main ones has to be MLB Japan, because obviously with Shohei Ohtani and the couple of the Japanese players that are playing in the league. And then you got Korea with Jiman Choi and other players that plays there as well. So it helps, getting that attention to it.
Gotcha. So do you do any like marketing, like campaigns with players themselves? Like, are you in contact with players, or are you only in contact with the league and the clubs?
Both. We work both. But basically, obviously with the CBA, we cannot do anything right now because we are in negotiations. But when we are, let's say, working during the season, we work on a couple projects with them, helping them to produce that exposure to those players and generate that baseball is fun, and you can watch these players and generate that new fan base that follow those kind of players.
And thank you for reminding about the CBA deal. How has that affected you?
Well, couple of it, because the work wise is very slow. But at the end, just waiting. We'll see how it goes. Definitely. I cannot comment more about it because I don't know much. But rules over here, the MLB, we cannot talk about it much, so we don't know yet.
Oh, good. I'm sure. I mean, it'll eventually figure itself out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's too much money being lost.
Yeah.
So, I also saw that on your LinkedIn that you worked with the Diamondbacks as a Hispanic market intern. Is that kind of the same thing what you do?
Similar. Instead of like me working, let's say, all the clubs, I'm working especially with one club. So when I was there, so I live here in Phoenix, Arizona. So you see almost 40% of the population here are Latinos, so second generation Latinos. So it's a huge population of Latinos here. So the market is big. In that time that I was working with them, I was helping them, generate special content for their Los Divas accounts. I was helping them reach out to the community. I was helping them create more exposure to the Latino culture. So in order to create that narrative of having more people to come to the stadium and follow those accounts and follow the team, basically. It was good, very good. I think we did a great campaign of that year of like adding new stuff like jerseys. And I remember that time we have new jerseys. We have that time in Chase Field, we had like a section of like big cultural Latino marketing section. And then we have, those spin of the wheel things.
Yeah.
So we had a wheel like that. And,
Mm.
and that spot have like very good Mexican cuisine, so any other Latino cuisine that we have there. So it was population very good, and we reached out a lot of for the community.
Okay. I've actually heard a lot of good things about the Diamondbacks organization. Did you enjoy your time there as far
Yeah,
as like organizational culture goes?
yeah, definitely. I think the culture and everything, I love it. They are a very good organization. I always recommend everybody if they want to do an internship, if they have the opportunity to come, if they want to work in a club, that's one of the top clubs to go to. Um, you're learning a lot, and you learn from the ones that are working on those internships. You learn a lot of like the community wise, like sales and marketing. And the group that I was working with there in marketing was huge, awesome.
Okay.
One of the best teams that I worked with.
So, what are some of the skills that you learned from that internship that you apply to your current job now?
Yeah, well, I started doing social media at that time.
Yeah.
I never done. Everybody has, let's say, 2015, 2016. 2016 was I was there. In a time, social media is getting bigger,
Right.
And that's why I introduced myself of working social media, because I only have my personal social media. Working as a team is another level, because you have to be more professionalized, have to do more thinking of the strategy you want to do in order to attack that accounts, those fan followers, and see the improvement of the account. And that's one of the things that I work with. Also, having the opportunity to work with a professional team in the United States, and especially a league like Major League Baseball, that's a huge access to, because it gives you knowledge of how it's important to work in that area. Learn about everything, let's say from website, from community programs that you have there, help them like how to reach out to everybody, work with players. Sometimes I had to be translator or do help get some players to do some content that we wanted to do. So that's one of the things that I learned a lot. It's just fun times, and you learn from different departments like finance and how we do it here in finance, how we doing sponsorship. Sponsorship is a huge revenue entry,
Right.
especially when you do a partnership that you think, oh, this partnership can relate with our community. We can manage something that we can attract those fans that follow that brand and also can follow us, and you go from there. So that's a couple stuff that you learn a lot.
Okay. So, you've been in baseball for a little bit now, right?
Yeah.
What kind of got you into baseball?
I think the opportunity that I had to do so, when I was doing my master's in Sony Cortland, just a little background before that, I was working events back in Puerto Rico. I was doing like basketball events with FIBA America and ESPN in that time. So when I got to my master's at Sony Cortland, in looking for opportunities, it was a tough one for me because I applied for everybody in the States. I didn't hear any response back. I was like decline every time. I was rejected. But one club in Australia, a baseball team over there, it's called Perth Heath. They gave me the opportunity to do my internship and start learning their experience and learning how to work in the winter league and as a minor league system. I'll take it. I need to graduate. Who knows if this opened me the doors to other stuff. And I took the risk about it, and let's go for it. So I went there and I learned a lot of how you work in the minor league system, especially in Australia when baseball is not the first
Right.
sports in their country. Um, and then I heard there's opportunity to go back home, back in Puerto Rico, work with a baseball team over there, and then start opening the doors to where I'm at. I think baseball has been the sport that have opened me the doors in many ways. That's why what I sticking with it. And you ever play baseball?
Mm.
It is funny. I love to watch it.
Yeah.
And I grew up watching it. And I grew up being part of I used to go to the professional games in the professional league back in Puerto Rico in my hometown team. That is not anymore there, but when used to have it, I always go there. And for some reason, like circles in life, they open me this opportunity and go
Right.
from there. Yeah.
So kind of unrelated to sports. You talked about going from Puerto Rico to Australia. What was that like? That had to be a totally different culture to learn from. How was that like?
Yeah, definitely. It was a change,
Mm-hmm.
basically. You know, me from a small island boy to go to Australia, to
Yeah.
another part of the world, and know nobody, not knowing anybody over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was great. I mean, I learned a lot how they work wise and how they see the sports wise, and it is another industry that is very growing in Australia. Sports industry is growing there, especially when you see like um, their accounts and you see like their partnerships and all that stuff. In that time when I went there, it was small steps, but they were getting better than now. And going there and learning how they work and how they're everything. And I felt welcome. I felt welcome. They gave me a lot of open doors there, and I learned a lot from their side.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that I always cherish about, because I took the risk to go to another country that I didn't know, um, and opening me the doors to do so in work there. Is a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see that in the resume, people kind of keep an eye on it. I was like, huh, this guy went to Australia. Why he went to Australia?
Right.
Let me ask. And when I came back from Australia, I started applying for jobs in the United States. Many people were started calling me back and say, what do you do in Australia? Why you went there?
Mm-hmm.
And I explained them and say, well, learn this. I work in merchandise for them in a while. Working in that club that I used to work with, they needed somebody to work merchandise. I was like, I took the challenge, let's do it. And I did marketing and merchandise with them. We ended up doubling the earnings from the last year
Wow.
that they had the revenue. More people don't say no, but merchandise has a good revenue for your club. And people don't see that, but you need to see it. It is something that helps you a lot. And they expect the amount of money that we make for they expect that. I'm saying when they see us, like, holy man,
Mm-hmm.
we did this amount of money. That's a huge boost for us. So you go from there.
Cool. That's awesome that you got to double their merchandise sales.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made 13,000 the year before that I went there. And when I went there and start working those their merchandise like hoodies and making deals with people and start selling like their jerseys or t-shirts and caps and all that stuff. And we rounded up like 42,000.
Holy cow.
Yep.
So I do kind of want to go back to your experience in college. You
Yeah.
said you worked with ESPN and FIBA,
Yeah.
correct? Let's start with ESPN. How was that?
So one of my mentors,
Mm-hmm.
Marilia Juarbe, she was a friend of my family, and she knows me as I was in my mom's womb. So I was a baby. And I explained her that I really want to work in sports, something but I really don't know where to work with, how to start with.
Mm.
And then she said, well, come with me. You're under my wing and I'll show you. And she told me, um, how's your English? I was like, well, it's getting there. It's better. Working this events, or how's your responsibilities and all stuff. You start talking and say, all right. So in film and ESPN, you have to be team host. So you have to be that middleman guy that um, help the coaches if anything that they need, or their equipment manager or anything like that they needed, and always in communication with us regarding practice or anything like that, right? So if you have to do translations, but do so. I learned about it, practice, and I was like, all right, sure, I'll take it. No problem. So my first year was at Vanderbilt University.
Yeah.
That year was awesome. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the next year they even went to this. They won the SEC, and that basketball team was very good. One of them was what's his name? Fito Cecili. He was a center for the Golden State Warriors when they won their NBA championship back in the years.
Okay.
It was a very good competitive team, very good program. And when I ended up like helping them like translations or helping them like coordinate practice courts or anything that they needed. So I was helping them in that direct between that middleman and the tournament. I ended up getting, I don't know where is it, but I have a banner with signed with all the players.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was very, very fun about it. And then the next year, I got Wichita State. Okay. And the next year after Wichita State went there, they ended up going to the Final Four. In the same stuff, I was more prepared in that time because I knew already the system and how we can work this, and I was a leader for many of the volunteers there. Then they knew a little bit more of the system, and I ended up helping them like translations, coordinate court practice, and transportation. I was always on top with transportation because that's one of the key things to move all the club, all the club, all the team's members there. And that opened me the door to work in FIBA America, and I was doing with the Centro Basket, that is the regional tournament over there. I was more in Mexico, Cuba, Venezuela, I think, Dominican Republic. No, Venezuela wasn't there. So it was Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Bahamas. So those Caribbean and Central America teams. I ended up working with Dominican Republic. Best experience because it was a new team, international guys now instead of college guys, and you see like international guys like there's one guy, Carl Anthony Towns was in that team.
Okay.
But he was like 16 and he was balling against everybody there. Wait, he was a 6.
So you saw Carmelo Anthony? Wait, sorry.
No, Carl Anthony Jr. Carl Anthony Towns, the Minnesota Timberwolves guy.
I was thinking I said the other wrong name, but anyways, you got to see him when he was like 16,
17. He was balling. He was huge, and now he's more huge. But he in that time, like 16-year-old guy is. So it was, and I knew international guys that were playing there that they used to play in the professional league, or they were playing the professional league in Puerto Rico. So I already knew who they were, and working in that part, that was awesome. And the team coach was amazing. Was Calipari, the UK team, University of Kentucky, the John Calipari, Dale Harris, the legendary coach, was their assistant coach. Rob Strickland was there helping there. Orlando D was over their staff. Was legit. Okay. So I ended up like helping them in that direction. I was the leader of the group, and then for the international events, and that's opened me more opportunities to see what I really wanted to do.
So with that was with FIBA, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
FIBA.
Okay. Was there like anything like anything else with like FIBA or ESPN?
I did some later.
Okay.
I did some that one more like helping them like more in the event wise, more organization kind of thing. It was a Tuto Marchand tournament, pre-tournament. It's a small tournament that plays different countries before the main one. Um, that one that I did much going to the stadium. I was more in the hotel business helping like coordination and transportation, all that stuff, or anything that they really needed. So I was helping them. So in that regards, they were which teams were there? Obviously Puerto Rico and then Canada. So I saw Steve Nash working with the Canada team.
Mm.
Um, Argentina was there as well. So I saw a couple of the Argentinian players that used to play in the NBA that was there as well. So that's working in that part, like instead of like being day by day, like on top, like practices and all stuff, I was working more in the back of the house, like seeing everything is running wise and there's no problem and helping when they need it.
Okay. So, all that is awesome that you get to work with, all the basketball teams and, just work with all these major athletes as well. So my question is, do you have any like mentors or people that you think would be good to reach out to that got you to that position?
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, well, I had two mentors. One of them was Marilia that opened the doors. The other one was Robert Rodriguez. He was the assistant GM for the Caguas team in Puerto Rico Winter League. That's I
Okay.
learned a lot of stuff with him of ideas or how to produce events like that. So in at this stage, I always write them once in a while and see how they're doing. And we spoke and we talk and if any guidance, I always go to them. But definitely mentors, if you see it not only in your professional world, but like I say, your professors as well, they're always going to help you, even though you might not think about it. But yeah, they always help. In my time in Sunny Corner, they always were there for me. Anything I needed, and if I have any questions or any answers, so I always go to them. Hey, by the way, this is happening to me, and can we work in that direction?
Our sport management professor at UMSL is very great. She's always a great person to reach out to her. Her name's Karen Baleska. She's amazing.
So
But
yeah, so definitely those. Yeah.
so my last question for you is, what is the best tip you can give to get into the sports industry?
I think obviously the industry, I would let I always tell my students and everybody, this industry is tough to enter. But once you enter, you keep working hard.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to work hard. You always have to be working double hard like everybody else to show your skills. Don't be shy what you or anything doubts that you have or concerns. You always speak out because who knows who can help you with and give you more guidance. And lastly, don't give up on your dreams. I know sometimes many people get frustrated because they're entering in one area they really don't want to do so. And during the time they were like, you know what, forget about it, I'm not going with it. So you have to go with the area that you love the most, that you think you can do the most, or similar area that you think, hey, if I go from here, that I learn about this and then start moving to another direction, you go from there. So be open to anything, not only one sport, every single sport. Who knows, maybe you work in one sport and then you start jumping to another sport and you ended up going where you want to go. And the importance is have connections with it. Every time that you go, have a very good relationship because people will talk about you. One example that I have, My dad came from Puerto Rico to visit me. And I showed him the Chase field. Hey, dad, this is Chase field, blah, blah, blah. And then he knew once who was my manager, my former manager in that part. And one of their sponsorship guys went to him and said, hey, your dad, Javier's dad. And yeah. Nice to meet you. I say, you have an amazing kid. So something that you don't see it now, but later will speak widely good about you. So build up those relationships, do amazing work, keep asking anything like that, and don't give up. So that's what the most pillars things, the 4 things. So build your relationships, keep working hard, don't say no, anything like it. You feel like it's comfortable and you speak it up, but areas opportunities will appear. So you have to take them and go from there.
Javier, thank you for that. That was all great tips, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I always have love to see new coming to students that are similar in my position when I started, and grow from there. I know if you think about it, I'm maybe first generation or second generation that are working in social sports in social media. So we started, there were not many stuff that we have now.
Yeah, true.
If you think about it, we only have Twitter, Facebook. Instagram was starting to work in that direction.
Yeah.
And then we had Snapchat, and now we are in TikTok, and now we're adding NFT and metaverse.
Right.
And so it is a lot of stuff that is coming up in future reality.
Right.
So those things never happened in my years. Now it's open. So you see your generation and coming generation, they already know, oh, I know this and this and this and this. So I love to like show them, hey, this is how we did it, and this is how you might be going through, and work from there. And it's awesome to see them like encouraged about it.
All right. Well, Javier, thank you for meeting with me today. It honestly means a lot.
Yeah, thank you for your time as well, and love to talk about it. And anything that you guys need, always you can reach out to me.
I will definitely be reaching out again. Javier, you have a great day, and see ya.
See you. Thank you.
Yep. Hey everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview that I had with Javier. So quick backstory to how we met. Well, that was the first time actually meeting in person, or meeting at all. But anyways, I found out about him through a sports panel, and I actually attended the last 10 minutes of it. Unfortunately, I couldn't make most of it. Something came up. But anyways, I took a screenshot or a picture of everyone that was part of the sports panel, and Javier was one of them. So I reached out to him, and we set up this meeting, and it went really well. So at the beginning, I realized after it was over, I realized that I was asking bad questions about the kind of like what clubs he was doing that for. At first, I thought he made it sound like, or at least to me, it made it sound like he was doing it for clubs in Latin America, and I don't know why. That's what it sounded like to me, but it was really for MLB teams to promote to Latin America, not to Latin American clubs specifically, but to all of Latin America. I don't know why that didn't like connect with me. And I also thought later on, I asked if there were like same things for like Asia, and I think I said Asian like an Asian uh, club marketing team, and I also didn't realize there was like other like specific ones for like Puerto Rico and Mexico. And he later explained like there's also ones for like Japan and South Korea as well. So a lot of good things I found out about that. So another I think the most interesting thing about that conversation was him talking about him growing up in Puerto Rico and then moving to Australia. And you know what? He took an opportunity that was given to him and he just went with it. And I think that's great. Um, so yeah, great conversation I had with him. He's a great person to reach out to. He has a lot of information. I think he even mentioned that he likes talking to other people as well. I think he referred to people like me as like his students, something like that. But yeah, great conversation. I want to reach out to him again and have him on. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any suggestions about like, one to like who to reach out to, and two, how I could do the podcast differently, please leave a comment, message me, say something to me, find a way. There's ways to reach out to me. But yeah, thank you guys and see ya.